everyone, it's Morgan from For the Love of Paper, and I'm here with a little tutorial about how I make my traveler's notebooks. This one here is actually one that I'm using as my diary, journal, whatever you want to call it, that I fill in with all my appointments and everything every week. I am using my Kitaholics kit from May. So I'm trying to use up some of my old ones that I haven't touched because I'm very, very naughty. And this project is actually inspired by d-lish on YouTube. She did a pretty similar way she makes up her traveler's notebooks as well. She uses plain paper or like different types of plain paper inside hers for when she does her little scrapbook journals. So that's where I got this idea from. My one, as I said, I'm using it as a weekly diary. I printed those sheets myself at home. I just went into Word or Photoshop, I can't remember, and I just created the dot grid pattern on one side and then the lines on the other and printed them at home. It was pretty easy. You can also buy files on Etsy and stuff that other people have made if you want more complex things on there, but it was really, really easy. I was so surprised. And I printed them on 100 GSM paper, so it's a little bit thicker than normal printer paper because I didn't want to be able to see through on the other side. Anyway, so once I had them printed, I folded them all in half, ready to make my little booklet. And I am stapling mine together. One, because I didn't want to get my sewing machine out, and two, because it was easier. And this was only the second one that I've made, and actually it's the third one I've made. The first time I ever tried to make one of these, I did use my sewing machine, and I think I had my stitches too close together because it just perforated the whole page and it all came apart. So next time I do that, I would make sure my stitching is a lot wider. But this one, I just used the staples because it was easy. And I'm using my mini staples, or the ones from the Tiny Attacher, because I wanted the coloured ones. And I've got dark blue, which matches the dark blue on the cover of this, or the cardstock on the cover of this. And yeah, so I used 3 staples instead of 2 just to make it a bit sturdier. So I went and got a blank piece of cardstock and measured out the middle and then about 1.5 inches in from each end, and did a staple in each of those spots. Then removed the staples so I had the 2 staple holes in all of those spaces, so I knew where to do it. So I knew where to staple on the actual book without drawing pencil lines and everything or marks inside it. And I went to find my bulldog clips and I couldn't find them because I think I've tidied up and put them somewhere safe, and we all have those safe places that you can never find them again. So I just used these little pegs that I had lying around, and they did the job to hold it together while I poked some holes. And I just used a pen, like a sewing pen, and it worked really well. I've only got 5 sheets of paper and then the 1 bit of cardstock, so this should last me about 1.5 months, I think, because we're nearly at the end of August, so it'll last me the end of August and all of September for this little journal. And then I poked the holes again from the top side or the outside, because that's the way I wanted the staples to go in. So here I was just trying to break the staples apart so I could get 3 flat ones that hadn't already been pre-stapled. So I just used the pen to break them apart, and then poked them through the holes that I'd already made, and then I just used the edge of the pen to flatten them down, and that was it. I didn't put the other 2 in there. You didn't need to see me doing all 3, but I did the same process for each one. And now I'm measuring, I think it's 11 centimeters. Traveler's Notebook 21 by 11, I think, is the dimensions. So I just measured 11 centimeters from the spine across the edge and marked with a pencil. And now I'm getting out my craft knife, and this is just a really cheap one from Kmart. I think they're $3. You get the handle and 3 blades or 4 blades, something like that, and it's $3. So, you know, it's not the best one in the whole world. I wouldn't want to do anything intricate with it, but it works really well for this. I just had to go through and sort of cut each page one at a time. It wouldn't cut through, you know, more than about a page and a half at a time. So yeah, it was pretty simple to make that. So once I make these last cuts, that is the book done, and I couldn't believe how easy it was. It was just simple. I'm going to be making all of mine like this from now on because it's so simple, so easy. I mean, that took me, I think, 10 minutes. And that was including printing the pages before I came on camera. So nice and easy. You can whip one of these up anytime. And this here is a scrap bit from the kit, and I really, really love that flower, the floral pattern on there. And it was really hard for me it is hard for me to use floral pieces in my layouts because I don't do photos about me or girls very often. I know I should, but I don't. But I really, really liked this piece that was just an offcut from another project that I'd made, and I thought I would use it on the front of this little notebook. So I just trimmed down the corners, or I trimmed off one corner and then used the excess bit to make the other corner match and turned it into a tag. And I'm actually fluffing around trying to get my hole punch out. That's what I was doing. So I punched a hole in the top of that. And what am I doing? Doodling around the outside. That's one of my favorite things lately. I hadn't done it for ages and ages. I used to do it in my project life on every photo last year, and then I sort of stopped doing it. So I think I'm getting back into doing that again. And adding a little bit of tape to the back of this. And I'm sorry about the camera shake. My camera's set up on the other side of my desk. So if I bump the table too much, the camera just wobbles all over the place. And I think I just ducked off to get a piece of twine. Yep, my bag of twine and ribbon. Most of these are from packaging where I've got kits and they've been wrapped up in twine. I keep all of those in the little bag there. So that one's yellow, just to give a bit of contrast to the rest of the page. And then I use these alphas to spell out the month. And then I realized that we were actually halfway through August. So I needed to do August up above and then September down the bottom. And conveniently, there happened to be an ampersand in the pack, which there isn't always one of those. A lot of them do, most of them do, but quite often you get them and there isn't any sort of extra bits, embellishments and, you know, quotation marks and things like that. So it was handy that this one did. And the sticker sheet, I think this is it Go Girl or Girl Squad? Maybe. That little one says, no, I can't remember what that says. Every day or something like that. And a little bunch of flowers. And then I do remember the other one, the little label that I stick on there says remember. And I mean, it is a bit of a diary for me. It is going to be my, what do you need to do today? What appointments have I got on? Sort of a journal. So that fitted really nicely. And then I think I just stick one little taggy thing underneath my main tag and call it done. And I am thinking about doing some plan with me videos on this channel. So if you would like to see them, leave me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see them. And I will try and get some done for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.